We are in the building, baby. We are in the building, right within, in them, in the place. It is season 2, episode 9 of the Slyso TV podcast. Ladies and gents, I'm not alone. I've got the queen in the building. Got the queen. You guys are just taking turns with me, hey? I'm quite annoyed.
I know. I think we are Balega Billy for some reason. I think
Billy would be here, and then the queen is not here, and then when the queen is here, Billy's not here.
Well, but he has a good excuse. He is studying, so we can forgive him for that.
He's busy with something that the whole country is busy with.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence is the future. That's what they say. So
that is the future.
Our future is in his hands, I guess.
Right? We need to be nice to him.
Yeah, no.
We need to be nice to Bills. But anyway, ladies and gents, welcome to it. It is, as I'd said, season 2, episode 9 of the Slyso TV podcast. It's a very busy show. There's a lot going on. Yeah. There's a lot that's been going on. Yeah, we're going to be touching on some very interesting stuff. Last Thursday, I think it was a Thursday, I was invited by Risa to the South African Music Awards nominations. Okay, it is the 31st edition.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting, the format that they've taken in doing it, but this is just stuff that we're going to be talking about on the pod. Now we also came across a very, very brilliant and dedicated journalist who's into human interest stories, and we put it through the test. If you remember, it's 10 years of life ESIDIMENI, so she's written a piece. It will go on the Slyso.co.za website immediately when we finish here, but we're going to talk about it a bit. So yeah, I think those are the highlights for me. From your end, apart from the recovering from
and I'm on go guys. I'm go Mali and flu. That's the only go.
Isn't it always? Okay, let's leave flu alone because flu subsides. It's always over Mali. And I think that one is unisex.
So guys, depending man. But it's been a busy one on my side. It is conference time, so at this point in time in my profession, there's a lot of movement that's happening and engagement. I was at the Women in Leadership Conference that was hosted by one of our sister universities in Bloem. Had a great time. And just meeting beautiful, intelligent, and powerful women and engaging.
What do people do in Bloemfontein? Like, besides, okay, that was a professional engagement, but like afterwards, it's like, yeah, everything is done now.
You would think, what do people do in Bloemfontein?
Yeah, such a small town.
A lot. There's a lot going on in Bloemfontein.
For real?
Actually, yeah. Oh yes.
Dude, I always thought Bloemfontein comes to life only when we are there. To gig and with the station I work for. Otherwise, besides that, I'm like, these people are probably sleeping.
When I'm in Bloem, there's not even big events that are happening, but it's always a good time. Maybe I just love the vibe. Yes, at Bloem, but I can tell you, like, good space to be in. Yeah.
Don't be like me. Don't move into a town or a city that does not have the ocean. When you are used to it, you will suffer. Like I'm suffering from these lights now.
Oh gosh.
And I wish I was near the ocean, and it's gonna be like that for the next hour.
Yeah, so that's what's going on, and then of course we close off the month of August with the bang with the foundation. We hosted our annual walks in East London and in Cape Town. Cape Town is always a vibe. I must say thank you so much to the Cape Town community. Of course, UCT, our partner there, and Langa for Men. People came out, and we had Uzola who was performing from Freshly Ground. Do you remember?
Oh, Zolani, yes.
Yes, she was there
Yeah,
supporting.
homegirl.
Oh yes, oh yes. So it was
6205
good.
as a kid. Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great. I
yeah.
love her.
So
I think she's
yeah.
looking all petite now. I don't know what she did.
Yes.
So iyathethisa into yenu novele nithi muncu.
Well, kaloku we are taking care of ourselves. So mayingazithi
Kuthiwa yintoni laa nto stompik zamfik
Ozempic and what was
Ozempic, yeah.
No. I don't think that's that. I think just naturally taking care of yourself, wellness, kaloku ngoku enye into esikuyo, guys, you know.
I want to say I don't like people that use such, right?
No.
Because some of us work hard to get this. And there are people who just eat pills and then like thingy. I'm gonna be like somebody I heard talking like somewhere. He's as dumb as I am.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
And now I'm gonna be a hater because Gareth was the same as well. As like I wish those people who use Ozempic, like they suffer all the side effects that come from it that we don't know now. So much that they go natural with it.
There is side effects, especially you are young, because you're not gonna be young forever. My worry that's why my worry is, but yeah. Anyhow, what do you have? What's going on?
Whoa, yeah, we're gonna be running through. There's so many interesting stories that I came across that we're gonna be going through, and I thought, like, you know what, this is gonna be one busy, one hectic show. We're not gonna dwell so much on analyzing, but like just putting out to people what is there, what is available. And by the way, guys, like if you have opinions about what we're talking about, here it is, right here. Is it which side? Yeah, this side. This side. Man, I'm confused, but it's somewhere here at the bottom. That is 079 600 5805. That is our WhatsApp line. So you can drop us a voice note about whatever opinion you have about the stories we're going to be talking about, or even a what do they call it? Like a video thing? What do they call it? A VN. No, it's the voice note. Now your EVN.
Clip. They can actually record.
Yeah. I don't know why, whether it's me or you, but I'm catching you a bit blurred there. But yeah, there it is, man. Like the our WhatsApp line. But starting off, we're gonna start with Mr. B. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're gonna start with
Katalia, what is our minister?
Do you see why I got the name wrong?
What's happening? Catch me up. What's going on? Did you
She said,
and what and President
she said that she said that he said that she said. But the bottom line of it, if you will remember, there was a summit going on safety and security and all kinds of stuff in Cape Town, where they invited people from different parts of the world to come and play part in this whole thing. How do we solve issues of crime and blah, 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 and all of that. And towards, on the fringe, towards the end of the whole thing, I remember, what's his name? The commissioner. He was animated. He was inviting the delegates. You need to come back now that you know that South Africa is working towards being safe, and I hope you bring your family and blah, blah, blah. And boom, out of nowhere, he's like, hey, by the way, that you know those dockets that the dockets, ne? Don't
Yes.
worry. We fetched the dockets. We fetched the
Okay.
dockets.
Okay.
They are back in KZN now. They are going to investigate. And not Mr. Pin, the minister, the acting minister, Kachalia, said,
Yes.
"Hey, wait. How on earth? Where did you get? Where did you get the right to do this? Huh? Because we've got the commission, and now you are busy. How do you take that? Because this is part of evidence." And then he had not finished. And then guess who came in as well? I was like, guys, what the hell are you doing? It was the president. He
Oh, so
was
you're not
like,
happy, Mr. President?
he is not happy. And by the way, right here on the ticker at the bottom, that's the story you can read while we share, Tina, the gossip side of these things. The facts are here.
The facts are
Don't
on the
listen to
article.
don't listen to us a lot. Listen, read the facts.
We just tell you the headline, guys, and then don't listen to the other nonsense. Just go and read. Just go and read it out.
So that's what's up. I think I'm just gonna read a bit of it. They say that some South Africans and political parties have welcomed National Police Commissioner General Fanema Semola's decision to return the 121 investigation dockets to KwaZulu-Natal. President Cyril Ramaphosa is reportedly angry like a motherfucker. How the hell could you do this? I need you to report. Minister, you need to come and tell me what is going on. So there's that back and forth that is going on. And obviously, it gets thrown into the public domain because it is a story of interest, especially for South Africans. So, and the thing is like, so what?
Yes, what's the big deal about this?
What is the big deal?
It's not like it's as dockets.
Yeah, and they are taken back to the to where they belong, to where they should be. So which debunks that whole thing coming from the president and through his spokesperson that these are subject of investigation. It is not the contents of the dockets that are the issue. All right. Yes, there's going to be evidence that gets laid. Those dockets are intact. So the investigations must continue as they should have before they were taken away. And then the commission, I say late by I don't know how many. It was supposed to start when first or something. Yeah. It was like now it's being delayed because there's procurement of this that needs to be done, and a deputy director, minister, whatever, gets shown the door because of. I'm like, what on earth is going on? And this back and forth with the president, like I don't know, man. Like I don't know what's really going on. Why? Because those documents were taken from KZN, and now they are taken back to KZN so that the investigation.
Where they were supposed to be in the first place.
So basically, what I figure, National Police Commissioner Umdagama Semola would say, you know what? If we are going to allow this to go through this process, there's going to be cover-ups, there's going to be all kinds of things. Let my boys do the work. That's what I think. I don't know what you think at home. Maybe you can share yours as well. But I think there's a lot of tuna, masbanka, mkolo, all kinds of fish.
Well, you know what? Unkwanas gave us warning, and I guess this is the playing out of what he was talking about. So they are not proving him any wrong in all of this.
Exactly.
Not helping in terms of
why is it a bone of contention now?
Yes, into confidence. We definitely are not feeling confident at all right now. In actual fact, I think we're all eyes and ears. We want to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I think we are at that point, and the fact that like from this as well, the local what do they call it, municipal elections are only towards the end of next year. Only towards the end of next year. So, as a big conspiracy theorist, I am thinking to myself, the dialogue was supposed to be a campaigning period, right? Let's bring Gumbaya, everybody together. We're going to have enough time. convince them to vote for us. But it did not
Okay.
happen the way that it did because some people pulled out and now it's thrown into disarray. Even the opening that we spoke about was something else. So which means that South Africans once again are saying, no, 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 we are not bowing down. I mean, like in November next year.
I mean, in dialogue again, I feel like there's the bullying that's happening because I think they knew that there was no buy-in onto this thing from South Africans themselves, and then
And they
they
still went
continued
ahead.
and they still went ahead. So flop because you know what, South Africans said we don't want a dialogue, and they didn't ask about if there because that's the question that they were supposed to now ask. Okay, what is it that South Africans want? I think South Africans are tired of having dialogues as pointless as in that direction, and there's no action clear.
Yeah, that's
Action
where we
plan.
are. And you could see Ngala opening in Dokbana, like, wow, there's just a lot happening here. Because the disorganization, like, Teta, no, yeah, this, you know what I mean? It was total
I didn't
chaos.
even the way I'm so disconnected from the whole dialogue thing. I didn't even watch because when they started talking about pulling out of this and that, and then I knew, but okay, South Africans are saying this is not what we want right now, and unfortunately, yeah, they are gonna have a dialogue by themselves if that's what they want.
Well, I think South Africans and all those other people, that's basically what they were saying. If you want to go ahead and have this campaign, you are not going to do it in our name. That's what I get out of it. Like I said, we have a very, very, very long and busy show. So we move on to that one, but we will catch your comments wherever you
Yes.
watch it. We are a live podcast, by the way. That's why sometimes we've got glitches. We're doing something that other people are not doing. We have the
Sometimes
gall.
come to our
Yeah.
friends while we are here.
That's us, baby. Well, we move from that one and we go to a rather. And I figured, like, while I was busy doing prep, I'm like, okay, where do we put this story? Where do we, and I thought, let's deal with it. Kusaqalwa. It's such a somber one. It's a very, very sad moment. It's right there at the bottom. That we lost at the age of 42 a very phenomenal TSIDI MADIA passing on after a very short illness. Journalist extraordinaire at a very young age. She was an editor, but she loved her reporting, loved by everybody. She was feisty, and she passed on after a very short illness, which I believe, which was a shock for all of us as a country, and especially after her star was just starting to shine, you know. Yeah, it was very sad.
She was so brilliant when she was doing that, the cover of that American interview with, that whole shenanigan, yeah, Americans telling us about Africa dying. And I felt whether, this is where her skills were coming out as a journalist, and she was just like, showing, right, that she's just a brilliant
I love
broadcaster.
something that they said they wrote. I think it was on her home company EWN. Towards they say they just because people would be like, I wonder what she's like outside. And I caught that comment where they say outside of a public persona, TSIDI was fiercely loyal to her family and friends. Her no holds barred approach seeped into every aspect of her life. She worked hard and loved even harder. The sun shines differently without you today, man. This is what people had to say. And we also quite a bit of, a couple of messages. And I don't know whether I should start with that interview or start with the message from the minister in the presidency. Yeah, I think we'll just play a little bit of that.
We came today, this afternoon, to pay our homage to TSIDI MADIA and just to say to the family, her father and siblings, and her aunts, that we are not only with them in our prayers, but we physically had to be here. Because TSIDI, though she was their daughter, she was the daughter of South Africa. And she was a patriot. She loved this country. She fought for this country. And it's very difficult to say for a person who's a journalist, who's in the media space, to say they supported the country. And her supporting the country was not about her being biased towards government, but making sure the messaging about this country, the truth about this country was told. She would hold us to account, but she'll do it in a manner that is responsible. She was a regem. She was not intimidated by office. She was not intimidated by an issue. She confronted it head on. And she'll go miles to fight for the country. I'm sure all of us will remember when she fought for the voice of South Africa inside the White House, at the Oval Office. But she didn't stop there. When she thought the messaging...
Yeah, that's exactly where we're actually going to be headed, to that interview where she really shone. And I was like, now this is what you call a patriotic South African, you know, because most times journalists are expected to be these people who are anti-government, you know, all of these things. But to have someone who is fierce in her approach, whether she's speaking to the president or she's speaking to a Julius Malema or, you know, whoever, you know, because her thing is about the truth. It's like, this is what we want. But for her to stand up at a time where South Africa was, wow, what has Donald Trump done? You know, they set up a trap for South Africa to fail. And apparently she insisted that she goes back and she gets interviewed by Fox News so that she can straighten it up. And that clip is right here. We'll just share with you guys just now.
Welcome to the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you surprised when you saw that?
No, not necessarily. I was amused by the latest gimmick, for sure, but surprised not so much. I think the South African delegation, South African journalists have been talking about it. We knew the president would walk into some sort of trap.
Is it true that white farmers are being killed in South Africa?
It's an interesting way that you've asked that question. I don't think the issue is what's happening in South Africa. I think the issue is what's being peddled about what's happening in South Africa. If you watch today's engagement, let me get to the point first. If you watch that entire engagement, the recognition, the painful recognition, the startling truth of crime in South Africa, violent crime, was actually uttered by everybody there from South Africa. Is it targeted towards a specific group? Is it an ethnic cleansing? That's the question, right? Based on what's been said about South Africa the world over, at least people are to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. That's not a fact.
Okay, so we don't deny that there's a lot of violent crime in South Africa, right?
Across
Seven times the murder rate.
Across the board.
Okay, so the issue is whether or not, I guess, whites are being targeted disproportionately. Is that what you're taking issue with?
No, that would be the claim. The issue is that the claim is falsehood. White people are not being targeted, Leland.
Love it.
Nobody.
So when
crime is experienced by everybody, not just white people.
Was chanting, kill, kill, you have to kill to be part of a revolution, on and on. He was talking about killing blacks or killing whites?
Do you need the context of what that song is? Because you can't take out the context of what that is. That is actually important. It cannot be that he's giving an instruction when that's not the fact. I think we do need to take into consideration the context. What he's chanting is an anti-apartheid song that was sang by leaders in the lead up to apartheid. The back and forth today about that song is whether or not it's relevant in modern day South Africa. Should we still be singing that song? If there's a grouping in the country that feels otherwise.
How can somebody be defending and singing a song that's talking about killing other people?
I'm not defending singing the song. I'm saying to you that's the conversation that's
So don't you think white farmers would be scared when they heard that song?
And that's the question that's being put to Julius Malema. I said to you that conversation is happening. It's put to Julius Malema that when you do this, this is what we worry about. But when you look at how long he's been singing the song and whether it correlates with the numbers of farmers under attack, particularly white people, it's not there. People are being attacked on the farms, are farm dwellers and farm workers. That's also a reality that's got to be.
White farmers are not being targeted or white farmers are not being killed, why are so many who have big land holdings willing to give up their entire lives to come to America?
Where are they? Show them to me.
We had them land.
Those 49 people are not farmers. There are plenty of reports from South Africa that many of those are not farmers. Those are chances. Please, again, show me the evidence. Those are people taking an opportunity. America's given them an opportunity.
You're saying
they're not farmers.
I'm just trying to figure this out. You're saying that your president has not in any way targeted whites, even though Elon Musk, who was there, can't get a license for his business.
He was where?
In the Oval Office.
He was in the Oval Office. He's never been to South Africa. When was the last time Elon Musk was in South Africa?
But he can't get.
When was the last time he was in South Africa? His father, Elon Musk's father.
I'm not talking about when he was there.
No, hold on. I want to also make you understand one thing.
The accusation is that many whites cannot get licenses to do business, among them Elon Musk. That's not
so we're being forced to undermine our transformative laws. We must be okay with the South Africa, with the majority that is denied of their own land, with the majority is deprived of access to economic transformations and means of production. We must be okay and not move the needle in any way to try and fix that. We must be okay with South Africa being labeled the most unequal country in the world and not trying to do anything to rectify that. Because that's what that argument says.
No, but the fact of the
matter,
there are laws. The fact of the matter is
they must be bent for an individual.
No,
that is what the question is.
But if you make laws that target a certain race,
none of those. Where are those, Leland? You're calling me as a journalist from South Africa, and you're putting those to me. I'm asking you for the proof. Donald Trump today, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to lecture a little bit. Donald Trump today called us in there, saying he's got proof of a genocide. South Africa's gone to the ICJ saying that they believe Israel is committing a genocide in Palestine. But they put evidence on the table. They put evidence on the table. Is not proof of genocide.
Yes, it is.
A private monument with fake crosses and not actual grave sites is not proof of a genocide. I don't believe that I'm being called in here to defend the indefensible. Those things aren't facts.
Okay.
Donald Trump did not put facts on the table.
You say that. We obviously have the president. Thank you very much.
When we say we lost a gem, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about.
And you could see how this, this white, privileged man speaking over TSIDI and trying to not even give her a chance to actually just, put her points across, and how she was like standing firm, and standing very firm, and she was very clear. It was very clear.
Yeah, and I decided to play all of it because I think it's whether you're especially if you're female, you need to stand up to bullying at some point, and especially things that are untrue that are being said about whatever. I think we really, really, really lost a great one in her. Queen. I don't know. There is the story of oh my gosh. The Hawks IP'd all of these fancy names that have to do with the protection of South Africans and guard against things like terrorism. Motherfuckers went and raided a comedian's house. They went and raided a comedian's house. Apparently, this thing happened a while ago, before the Kwanazi's revelations and all of that. This guy put up a video which was totally satire, Anton Taylor, and making all kinds of accusations, putting himself out as a criminal. And now you tell me a criminal, because we're going to play that video, a criminal that would go on socials or on the internet and express or confess that he is a criminal, and he even gifted Senzo Mchunu, the minister, a BMW and 3 prostitutes. Like, what the fuck? And apparently they went and raided his house, confiscated his phone, kept it for like it was more than 3 days. Kept it for a while because they wanted to see what was in it. But yeah, even there, we've got the receipts for all these things. Okay. We've got receipts for all of these things. So, and nicely, it's a very short video, but where he actually goes on about this thing. I don't know. I think I should start with the actual video, and then he gives context afterwards.
Guys, we are catching Mkwanazi. We did it. I'm so happy, guys. We're catching him. It's like Christmas or day my divorce comes through with my third wife, that bitch. As you know, I am the foreign criminal in South Africa. And I'm making a lot of money off the drugs, the hijackings, and the cash in transit. But this general, Kwanazi, has been big problem, okay? He's killing my criminals in KZN like dogs. This Mkwanazi is attacking my wallet. I'm not going to Mauritius for the holidays. I'm going to Gordons Bay. And I'm not getting these high-class escorts anymore. I must buy the prostitutes from the Kenilworth. It's big dive for me and I'm very unhappy. Recently, my guy, Senzo Mkuno, the head of police, is finally saying he's coming for Mkwanazi. Masibioze, guys, halala. I had to pay Mkuno a lot of money and I'm giving him a BMW and I'm paying for the 3 prostitutes. But the reason I get them to investigate Mkwanazi is because I'm telling them you are next, you know? Mkwanazi, he's not stopping with these hijackers and the criminals and the drug mafia. He's coming for the politicians. So I convince them, you must be very scared. I'm celebrating because it's like so obvious that Mkwanazi comes for the criminals and the politicians and now they're investigating him. So now the only problem that can happen is if the people get angry and they rise up and they shout at the politicians. So for me, all the criminals, what we pray is that the public does not protect Mkwanazi.
Please tell me they didn't think.
I'm laughing because that is the video that played. Any smart person would sit and go and ask themselves, who is Anton Taylor? He's made videos like this about Julius Malema.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they told me they didn't take it literal what he said. They didn't take it literally and went and...
I guess because this was actually before Mkwanazi made the conference in July. So this was way before July. So I guess it appeared like he had intimate knowledge of what is going on or what was anticipated or whatever, because this was just before that.
I think they're just mad. You know why? You know what's happening is like, so they're mad. You just mentioned the prostitute. I think they're just mad because he said what they all normally do. And
exactly.
They're mad at the time. Like,
exactly. They raided his house. They used like as he explains as well. I mean, like, we don't have time to play that second video. We need to move on. They used triangulation. Triangulation is a very expensive manner of trying to locate someone when they do like serious investigations. So they spent all of those resources trying to figure out who's this guy, where does he live. But if you were to go into Anton Taylor's Instagram account, you're gonna find.
Couldn't they just go onto some of his old videos and just get a sense of this guy?
They could have. This is a guy who's friends with Unesi. I'm sure that video had been doing rounds for quite some time. Apo waiteti Xhosa SM chatwini welandika yakhe.
Yes.
Then you're gonna say that you are investigating this guy for crimes. What crimes? Country or whatever, something that's got to do with terrorism, basically. Like,
and he's gonna come on social media and tell you that he's doing that. Like, just hand
it's the use of resources, because apparently people had to fly from here, Pitoli, down to Cape Town where he was, and he was in the United States when they did the raid. And it was like, what the fuck? What's going on? We're going to take a break right here and obviously head over to, the Momo and try to find out indobana usiphathele ntoni namhlanje, because you've been out and you've been hanging out with some well-to-do people. So yeah, let's hear what that is about. All right, man. And thank you very much. Don't forget that you can still send us that message. You can get on chats on Facebook, those who are watching on Facebook. And please do follow us on TikTok, because we've realized that we need, I think about you need over 1,000 people for you to be able to broadcast. So that's part of what we want to do, because a lot of people are on TikTok. So we want to be able to broadcast the podcast on WhatsApp, on TikTok. So please do do share, the videos, so that we are actually available for those people who prefer to watch us on TikTok. Let's go to the Momo people.
Give up on your dreams, don't give up on yourself. It can also be a developmental crisis issue. Keep pushing and stay the course. Hey, hi my people. We're coming back, and I'm feeling, a little bit under, but in the recovery mode. It's been a hectic August, and now September is also coming with a bang. And all September, it is Suicide Awareness Month, and I thought let's talk about it. It's quite heavy, I know, but it's one of those things. Mental health, we have to address. We have to raise awareness. We have to make sure that you have, the right information. Now, a lot of people, they actually experience suicidal thoughts more than we actually know, more than they can actually say, for various reasons, right? And when someone is experiencing suicide or suicide ideation, as we call it as psychologists, or suicidal thoughts, we know that that's a sign of depression. That person, is experiencing some depression, and people don't know that feeling suicidal is an indication that you are actually depressed. So a lot of people, because they have depression that is untreated, right? They are not consulting. They don't know that they're actually depressed. They just know, but I just don't feel like living anymore. I don't feel like my life is, purposeful. I feel like my life is meaningless rather. There's no point. And so a lot of people, will experience suicide thoughts, right? Because there is a lot of issues, right? Social issues, economic issues, psychosocial, socio-economic issues that people are experiencing in South Africa. I mean, we have high levels of crime in South Africa that's happening, which means that people are exposed to trauma, right? We know we are coming from August, the GBV, even in August, it's still, the numbers are going up. So again, people are being traumatized on a daily. We know that with the high unemployment rate, and the statistics that indicates that the high unemployment rate is actually not getting any better, it's getting worse. People are under a lot of stress, right? We know that people are actually struggling to make ends meet, right? And so people are actually under a lot of strain. And with that, what is happening is also we see that people are no longer taking care of one another. There's no community, right? And by community, I mean people are no longer having a strong support system. We see this as psychologists, we're noting this, right? Families are breaking down, communities, there's just a lot of disorganization that's happening. Churches are no longer a support system, a strong support system for some people as it used to be. And so with this social fragmentation that's going on, a lot of people are starting to feel hopeless, right, and helpless, which makes people feel suicidal. So I want you to understand that there are warning signs that you can look out for, right, when it comes to feeling suicidal or trying to take somebody who is suicidal. if umuntu is starting to talk about how, useless they feel and how pointless their life is, that's something that we need to be listening to Simamele and just actually, take into consideration we interrogate, where is it coming from, what's going on in their life. So xa umuntu suicidal, ixesha elininzi uye athethe ngento yobana, ingasangabikho, if angaphumla nje, and not rest as in I just want to go and sleep and take a nap and, we're talking about someone who's like, ingase ndilale ndingavuki, when someone is also starting to just write messaging as in people update their statuses sometimes, and you can sense that there's element of indicating I want to take my life, right? That is an indication that that person might be experiencing mental health challenges, depression to be specific. I might be going through a lot. So a lot of people will sometimes even write messages as they are planning to do something. When someone is also starting to explore dangerous ways of unaliving themselves and being curious about is it dangerous that can harm themselves. That's also an indication and a sign that that person is going through a lot. Some people start, self-harm, or putting themselves at risk, right? Umuntu mhlambi athe ehamba endleleni angabikho vigilant and intentionally walking on the road, engasatshayiswa imoto, that people that get to that point when they are suicidal. And then, you look at also things like a person no longer being themselves, not taking care of themselves, like, hygiene, umuntu angazohoyi. Especially xa umuntu mhlawumbe, let's say, akaphangeli, and now there's this lack of effort in terms of, just having a good routine, waking up at a certain time, uhlambe, ube clean, and not necessarily to, wear specific clothing, but just to look, clean and be presentable and take care of yourself and be comfortable. So for uba lo muntu ixesha elininzi uhleli nje uyazivayela, ufuna indawo emnyama and want to be by themselves, all the time. And then some people start to take izinto zabo baphise ngazo kancinci kancinci impahla zakhe, and start to take their valuable items and give them away. That's also just a red flag that we can note. And there's many, many other symptoms that we can actually look out for. And then, of course, when a person starts to talk about suicide, because some people actually talk about, like, I want to kill myself. Or when someone starts to attempt, especially women and girls, they will, start to take, pills and start to take harmful chemicals, in an attempt to, kill themselves. And that's a red flag that something is really bad. When it comes to males, reckless behavior and violence that is unusual, where someone also drinks to a point that they actually are wanting to almost get alcohol poisoning, intentionally drinking themselves to death. Some people, can actually do that. And then just wanting to also threaten other people, because with suicidality, some people also feel homicidal, where they want to also harm another person. So xa umuntu ezawuthetha mhlawumbi kupartner yakhe about ubana, if something happens, ndawubulala mna okanye ndazibulala mna, or I'll kill, you and the family. So ezo zinto that we have to look out for. And when we hear such things, we mustn't take them lightly. We must interrogate them sensitively, with empathy. We must get, professional help. So that's suicide prevention that I want you to be aware of. A lot of people think about ukuzibulala more than they say. And we know a lot of people have attempted suicide, more than they actually speak about it. Now, September is Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month, and we are wanting to, break the stigma around mental health. People sometimes they think about uzibulala not because they want to die, but because they want to escape. And I often say that suicide, when people kill themselves by suicide, it is really because they were just struggling to manage and regulate the pain that they were feeling, the emotional pain that they were under. They were also not getting the right support, from their families and friends, and community, but also from professionals. They were just going through, whatever challenge they were going through by themselves. And I think that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to mental health. People don't actually reach out and they don't seek help until it is too late. And so I want you to know that if you're going through some depressive symptoms and you're starting to think about, suicide, that, we think about suicide a lot more than we say. But it's very important that you seek help if you realize, well, it's becoming a bit abnormal, indlela ocinga ngayo, and you're thinking about dying more often, and you're thinking about harming yourself, and doing something harmful to you that can take your life. It's very, very important. Zininzi izinto ezenza uba umntu afikelele kwesi sigqibo ke. That's why I'm saying that there's so many things. Sometimes, breakups, people not being able to deal with the ending of relationships, or a marriage. Sometimes people, not being able to deal with betrayal that happens in relationships, end up, killing themselves or killing their partners and the spouse and the kids. Zizinto ezi that we've seen happening. And it's very important that we pick up the signs and we educate ourselves, right? So that we can actually get the right support. More importantly, let us create a community. Let us get back, to not just relying on ourselves, let's actually make efforts and be intentional about, having people that we share, our struggles with, people that we trust. Let's make effort in building, healthy and meaningful relationships. And I'm not talking about intimate relationships because we are so focused on building intimate relationships, but we actually forget that there are many other relationships that are important to our mental health that can actually help us to live a meaningful life. Your family relationships are very important. You need to make an effort to build healthy relationships with your family, your siblings, your parents, your extended family, your friendships. You need to be intentional about building close and meaningful relationships with your friends, making sure that you're surrounded by good, people who are actually, positive or contribute positively in your life, And then what is important also is that besides just looking at your life, and feeling as though ubomi bakho, abuyindawo, and feeling stuck sometimes can make you feel like ubomi bakho, you don't deserve to live. Look for something that you can do, for other people. Go to centers and volunteer your time. If you're unemployed, it's about you feel sorry for yourself, and thinking a lot. Get yourself involved. There are so many things that you can do. There are so many people that you can actually impact. You don't need to have money, right? You don't need to have funds for you to actually contribute. There are homes, where they need people. They just need hands. Old age homes, children's homes. There's so many things that you can do. With young children who don't have direction. In our communities, at church as well. There's so many initiatives at church that can be started at church to bring people together and give them hope. What is important, Slyso, when we are trying to deal with issues of mental health, and especially the issue of suicide, we need people to be able to live meaningful lives. And a meaningful life doesn't necessarily mean, or it doesn't have to be tied to material. You don't have to have a fancy car. You don't have to be living in a fancy, suburb. You don't have to, own, big businesses. A meaningful life is a life that is not just about you, that extends to, outside, right? It's about you actually connecting with the world outside of you. And that can be a protective factor. And that's my story for
And
today.
she
And I hope this
is
helps you.
sticking to it.
Sticking to it. Yep.
Yeah, very heavy, very extremely important as well. The message out of it. I like I'm gonna start from the end, where you're talking about how you get out of it. And most times people have a tendency of thinking, they're just sitting there. She's a professional. She went to school for this thing. She's just trying to stop it. Where she doesn't understand what I'm going through and all of that. There's a story I share every now and then. When we have moments like this, there came a moment like that in my life. All right. And I'm reminded by when you say that you go out and you help out kids in the community. Everybody that knows me knows I'm big on charity. I did it, like my brand was built on it. And when I think I don't know what 2010 or something, when my contract was not renewed, it's been well documented, obviously. My life is in the public space, so people will know about that. I said there was a charity event that was being organized by a group in Nelson Mandela Bay. And, a friend of mine, Klabisa James, is like, listen, you need to get on this thing. I'm going to link you up with so-and-so and blah, 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 and done and done. I was like, for sure. Got into it. We slept on the street for 10 days. We were raising money, no proper food, no washing for 10 days. We had to go and beg we lived like the people that live on the street. There was nothing that was given to us and all of that. We would go sing somewhere and put a indoor for people to collect. But long and short while, at the end of that, two things happened in my life. All right. This was shortly after. And I was thinking, what am I going to do with myself? What am I going to do with myself? And then this thing came up. And I went into that program or the charity drive. We raised just over R1 million in that 10 days. Right. It wasn't R1 million that was coming to us, but it was for charity. And the second thing that happened, I was on that program with Lance Du Plessis. Lance Du Plessis is known by people about say Algoa FM. And we were there together, like Silele Apa, Slambanga, Makwapa, and all of that stuff. He's like, actually, Sly, you're a cool oak. Like, have you what are you doing now that your contract is not like thingy? I'm like, dude, I ain't doing diddly squad. I don't know what the hell. And he was like, listen, I'm gonna find some way of speaking to somebody, and try to get you on your command of English and blah 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 and all of these things. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you, I had not washed for a couple of days. I was barefoot, I was hungry, and I got called into a meeting with the programs manager into his office, all stinky and stuff. Suicidal thoughts were there, and the only thing that stopped me from it was that I had a child, and I was like, I don't want my child learning about how Tatawaka just gave up and stuff. I was very like, they were not really that hard hitting, but like why don't I just end it all? So I went into that interview, and all of these things, and it was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna organize, get a demo, blah blah blah, and I had almost 2 years of a stay at the #1 regional radio station, So you can. What I'm trying to say is that, like, to people that are watching, is that we are not talking necessarily all the time about stuff that we read and there's research about. We're talking about our own experiences. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm big on doing things. Doing things for others. I'm big on also doing things, like externally. That impact you internally. There's so many things that people don't actually do, and wishful thinking and sitting still can actually get you into a suicidal thought, because you are just going over one thought. You know, you could just have a thought, I'm useless, and then that thought, you know, recurs in your mind, and it's the one thought that can, you know, cause you to actually end your life. Whereas if you spend 5 minutes outside, uncokola, you know, nobody ekoneni, or something happens when we tap out of, you know, the selfish, you know, approach in life, you know, and just say, okay, in 30 minutes, you're gonna call my paper start and just make sure area to clean, you know. I mean, what's gonna happen to me if I do that? And you often find, Slyso, when we are volunteering, I don't know, we meet the most, you know, the most cool people, the most impactful people. That's where also like opportunities come. So I want to say to young people, especially with this unemployment thing, I know it's a silent killer for young people, that don't undermine volunteerism. Don't undermine volunteerism. There's so many people that you can meet that will open doors, people that know someone somewhere, you know, and by you just being in the same space with them, you could actually, you know, have your opportunity. So don't sleep on that. Don't undermine party volunteerism. And of course, I know it's gonna come with, I don't have money to go, and I'm not saying wanna, you know, kill yourself, but I'm just saying in your area, look at what you can get involved in. That is already there. There are programs that you can get involved in. You can even start, you know, your own program where you are in your community. You see a problem, you know, find the solution for it, and then some opportunity will come from that.
Yep. And speaking of volunteer, it's funny because this was like almost like a second life. I was lifeline. I was being thrown when I started. Like for an example, if I did not think of volunteerism, and I was, when I was young, this Russell Road College, and I was approached, and I was like, no, we just opened a community radio station. We're looking for volunteers. I'm like, volunteers? I'm like, sure, put me in. So the reason why there's a Slyso that has had so many years on radio and this impact and all of these things, I started by volunteering. By being by being a volunteer, elalidlala ishow yasebusuku, and then ibe ndim ocima isitishi because it wasn't 24 hours. So the importance of giving off your time, and it's very unfortunate because I speak to young people all the time, and you hardly hear them speaking about giving off their time. You know,
So that's why I'm saying that get out of this self entitlement and just be selfless. And being selfless is give off your time. You know, instead of scrolling mindlessly, and actually being jealous because you see abantu on Instagram going on vacation and you're stuck when election. You know, you could just, you know, put the phone down and go get involved in something impactful. Ulibale, get fake accounts as go, you know, because you're with people that are actually, you know, spending money that is not even theirs, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, is that sometimes young people are stuck in a depressive and suicidal cycle, and they're not realizing that they're actually continuing that cycle. They're not trying to end the cycle by tap out of your own, you know, misery.
Yeah. That is it, guys. We are gonna be moving on. We got a couple of stories that we still need to go on, but check it out here, right? Check it out here. She is a practicing counseling psychologist. You can get her on senganatobeka@gmail.com, 073-421-3360. That's where you can, organize your thing. Some are virtual, right?
Yes. I'm also online because you know what? I'm having a young audience. Yes, and I'm catering now to not just Abantu all of South Africa. Internationally, I'm realizing there's actually, you know,
Wow.
People. So online services, you don't have to see me face to face. Of course, that's what we would like because clearly, but now we are online, and of course that is also regulated. So ethically, we know we are regulated as HPCSA to provide counseling safely online. So yes, talk to me.
Well, there we go, guys. Book yours, just in case you are ready to end your life. Okay, I don't make a good person. I don't make a good ambassador.
Okay, no, cut.
Are you trying
this
to
is when the director's like, cut.
Are you having suicidal thoughts?
No,
Did your girlfriend just throw the pen at you?
No.
It doesn't work.
No.
I leave. But guys, for real.
This is why I am the psychologist and he is he's the journalist, and the renowned journalist and presenter, and okay. But I sometimes take him to counseling. So I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working very hard.
It was a sign that I need counseling. I need a session pretty soon. Thank you. That was the motivational moment on the Slyso TV podcast. We're just gonna breeze through these ones very quickly, because we just don't want to spend so much time. We know that we've got the G20 summit in Johannesburg, where they say it will go ahead regardless of Donald Trump's attendance. This is according to Ronald Lamola, the minister, saying that we couldn't care. Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Ronald Lamola, emphasized that South Africa's commitment to making the G20 summit success, regardless of whether Trump attends or sends a representative. Yeah. We couldn't give two fucks about it. And yeah, so that's basically
the way he is. He's like maybe we can even increase the tariffs again. Just have a look there.
Did he speak? Or did he say?
Oh my God!
Yeah, but that was one of the ones we just picked up. South Africa. For me, I'm like, this is what South Africa needs to do. This is where we need to be. Say that we are willing to go at it alone if you are not coming. And I don't know why are we taking so long to energize BRICS Plus, but I was so impressed seeing on social media the Prime Minister of India together with the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. They were together going somewhere, and they even drove together. It's almost like he's a little kid. It's like, we have these conversations, me and President Putin, that are so profound whenever we travel. So he was driven in thingy with those are BRICS countries. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, if you have these relationships, why can't you sit around the table as BRICS Plus and say, like, fuck you, Trump? So to have South Africa coming out like this, yes, we are bleeding. Goodyear Tires is just closed. Ford in Strondale in Gqeberha is threatened with closure. So we're feeling the pinch. But you know what? You always need to suffer. No meaningful change takes place where people are comfortable.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable,
I guess,
we
did say that perhaps it is time for South Africa to relook at what are the opportunities that are going to come from this, from actually this pressure that is being applied, by those ones who think we cannot actually, survive without them. And I think that's exactly what Minister, Ronald is probably now and everyone else thinking about. But what are our options actually? Let's actually explore other options. Of course, we're open to engage USA, but if they're not willing, then we cannot we can't actually just be helpless about the situation. So yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. And I said we're moving very fast. I think this was a story that was very, very It touched me, because I think we just spoke about now voluntarism and stuff like that. This guy, all the way from KwaZulu Natal, grew up in a village. He's a doctor now. He credits ummelwane wakhe for motivating him and his parents allowing him to try out things. Is one of those people. I just want to go to that part. He said he matriculated in 1998 and obtained his BSc degree in physics and chemistry at the University of KwaZulu Natal. That is with Dr. Ngobo. And he's come up with this revolutionary innovation that will shape telecoms, surgery, and data storage. And for something this phenomenal to come from a person who comes from a village. And yeah, and I love how he passionately speaks about how a neighbor was almost like advertising him, saying that you want something fixed, you want your stove fixed, you want all of these things. So he got motivation from there. So as a kid, once again, sitting where you are sitting in a village somewhere and saying that my dreams, and all of these things, I think, look at this guy. Look at this guy. And there's one picture that's also just as important as well. They call him the humble inventor. This was him receiving his PhD there from the University of KwaZulu Natal. So there's so much. Even if you are going through thoughts, you are without a job, read something. You might find a story that motivates you and say, I come from the burbs. I come from the township. Like, you know what I mean? Or vice versa, and say, we've got this Tines Lalin. So that's one of those stories I thought like we should just breeze through and just tap into. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is exactly what we mean when we say your dreams are valid, right? Because really, anything is possible if you really dream, and I think all success stories start with just a young person having dreams. Have dreams, be imaginative, and you never know what possibilities are there, what opportunities can come your way. But I think it's also about again, tap out, like taking initiative, like be a person that defies your background and your circumstances and say, you know what, not, but I have a dream, man. One day will go to whatever place that you wish, and have a positive impact and do something and be a somebody.
Yeah, apparently the research team had been trying to develop a digital laser for 2 years without success and wanted to see if bringing a fresh mind on board could help achieve the goal. Guess what? Boom. He lands his opportunity, and apparently 6 months after he joined the program, the doctoral candidate made his breakthrough. So the entire thing was just missing this brain from the village, as Lalin, as I say, as KZN. And boom, it was there. So if you're not motivated, I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, yeah. I'm not.
Yeah, there you go again.
Yeah, I'm due for my thingy. I'm due for my virtual consultation with you, Toto.
I'm saying
But there's so many other stories, and I think this is one that like we were to make light of. Leon Schuster. His movies were taken off platforms like DSTV and Showmax because remember there was the Me Too, Black Lives Matter, and you couldn't paint your face as a white person because you are mocking black people and stuff like that. So according to DSTV and Showmax, they did that so that they took the movies off so that they don't appear to be insensitive about the the conversations that people are having around that. But that is since kind of like simmered down, the whole like, yeah, me too, yeah, like, you know, Black Lives Matter and all of that. And it's been argued as well that it was meant not to harm, it was for purely for entertainment. Yeah.
That, really taking things out of context is a problem. I have a big problem when we are just like, you know, generalizing everything and not actually looking. I mean, early on, I think when I watch his movies, now I'm seeing someone who he actually really loved Black people and wanted, you know, to have this integration amongst the Afrikaners, you know, and the Blacks, and using humor and his, you know, art to try and, you know, and bridge that gap and yeah. So, but you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
I remember someone was saying that I don't know whether was it Luis or Kola or somebody, but who was saying that, like, you know, if films Leon Schuster were an institution on its own. It actually shared the South African story during apartheid as it happened. When they find out in Dabana you're a Black person and they treat you a particular way because you would wear those
Yes.
masks. Like when you're an Indian person, you get treated ngolhlobo. So it was actually holding the mirror to South Africans to say this is who you are and this is what you do. It was not meant for harm, but I guess for people like MultiChoice and Showmax, as they say, that it was a precautionary measure because obviously these guys go through like stringent what do you call it, regulation, you know, in terms of what they put out, being sensitive, freedom of speech, you know, freedom of art, and all of this stuff. So it looks like sweet and short. Oh shucks, it's Schuster. You must be joking. You must be joking too. Shucks. Okay, pay back the money. Frank and Fearless, they are all gonna be coming back to your DSTV and Showmax as well. So if you're a big fan, be on the lookout for that. And thank you to my broadband for that story. So yeah, that's what's happening. Whoo, there's a lot. Okay, now we'll let this one slide. There's so much. I mean, like, we're already over by 10 minutes already.
You see, this is the problem when I'm with you alone.
Right? But like, I'm sure we can just go through this one because like I hadn't been like my broadband.co.za, by the way, source of a very interesting news and around technology as well. So they also have put out a warning for people with Truecaller, and eating August knows, you know, Truecaller is like, yo, this one is spam, this one is not. So apparently there is a manner in which now abantu abakatayo do. They're gonna call you. They use like names for these companies. Phone ingati from, or let's use Netbank, the one who's brought this up. So Netbank protection. So we want to protect your information. We need you to give us A, B, C, and D. There was an attempt on your thingy and all of that. So they're saying that people need to be vigilant. There's certain information that you should not, that a bank will never ask you over the phone. You know, they'll never ask you for your PIN. They'll never like think you. So people need to read these things and know what they can. And obviously, they're going to take advantage of older people because when you phone with authority, with an accent, and saying you're calling from the bank, and when you see, you're like, oh, okay, you know, so you give it up. So they're saying that like South Africans really need to be on the lookout as far as that is concerned. Have you ever been scammed?
Not really. I am very hard to scam. I ask a lot of questions. I'm very much, and I'm those kind of people also. I don't talk when someone doesn't address me. I first wait for that to be addressed. The minute Kamalamli address or wrong, I you know, small things for me. Yeah, I will not engage. So
Yeah.
definitely not. Definitely
Good
not
for you. Yeah, I think we need to note it down and like I mean like it's about December ngoku, you know, people are gonna be coming up with all kinds of scams and all kinds of
These
stuff.
people, they
Maybe.
are like they use a Slyso of intimidating. I think you know, people, they will be very fast in the way they are asking questions. You know, by intimidating in English and you know, you are confused. Start asking these questions. So I think it's also very important for people to understand when you are getting a call from authorities, slow the conversation down for you so that you understand. Because a lot of times when people get scammed, they have no clue about the rules. They were just giving information, you know. Someone just says, "Well, please confirm your ID," and now you are,
You know what I
you
mean?
know. You understand? You haven't even been given background about why are you being called. They just say, "We're calling from NetBank. Please confirm. You know, this is your name." And of course, now again you confirm, and then it's a series of questions. So I think it's very important for people slow down the conversation. I want to know who I'm talking to on that side. So when they're asking, "Is it Mrs. Senga that's talking?" Then I'm like, "Yeah, who's talking on that side? From where? And you know, why the call?"
It's it, it,
So
it's a thing for me, Toto. Like people know me to probably be a bit crude if they're calling me for the first time and I don't expect their call.
yeah,
Because I've been so agitated, so irritated by being busy and the phone rings and then when you like thingy is on some like it's either an automated voice or like thingy
yes,
in so
automated
much
ones,
that
they are
for a very long
very
time, or in fact, up until now, like I don't answer numbers I don't know. Rather send me a message and then I can say, oh, you know, because it's very irritating. Emotionally, it obviously is going to affect you in so much that like I end up being rude to
yeah.
people on the phone because my thing is
And
on some
now
yes.
they are using you know, remember the other person line, you know, like double one, whatever, and then you
Mm,
pick up.
mm,
But with like cell phones, you know, and so I guess people also worry that I don't want to reject, you know, this call. What if
mm.
and the minute you pick up and it's you know, you can tell by it's a telemarket kind of situation.
No, no, no.
Probably.
I'll pull a Leon Schuster on them. What the fuck do you want?
I,
Who
I,
are
I sometimes
you?
answer, I'm the one that answers the call and I will breathe on the message.
Oh,
I will not say anything. And you know when they take long to talk to
I'm
you, then
gonna
I
try
know
that one.
that one is a scam because why do you need to wait until 30 minutes? You are at work. You are at work. You want to tell me that you called Umseng and you don't know what you're calling for? Don't come for me.
Right?
No, I'm not the one.
What the fuck do you want? Uzuchinji accent kanga yazibutela abantu. What do
Yes.
you want? Can I help you? Mm.
And then the other one, the other big one, because I think people are so vulnerable with, you know, wanting to get opportunities, winning. There's this trend of, you know, you get a call and you know, like you are the
Mm.
lucky one, your number or your ID or your whatever has been, you know,
See?
picked out of, and you are the winner. Oh, winner, Jani, competition.
Ngenile kwa
Relax,
competition.
people,
Me
please.
andizingeni nozingena because I don't do competitions. I believe in working my off for the things that I have. So if you're going to call me talking about a competition, fuck you in advance because me, I don't fall for that. Okay, dog, bro. Like, so don't call me and say you have a chance
Again, even if I entered that competition, I wasn't phone. I am so unlucky. I'm just
to.
accepted in life. I'm just one of the unluckiest people in life.
It's like other people buy a winner, but not me. When it comes
No,
to me,
not
it
me.
does not
I
happen.
will definitely not win. It's like God has just said, "Man, because I like indoors, I for my dear."
Right? You need to
Yes.
work for
So
it.
I accepted. That's how it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Ooh. The time we're getting closer because if you had seen, I've just brought it out. It's been a minute. The Sisa Nundumo Courageous Citizen Award. We're gonna be giving it to somebody now. It will be posthumously. So yeah, you're getting the clues, but that's what we're gonna end off with. I have that event that I went to. That I was sharing about. I want to see if I can quickly just get the information very quickly, Toto. I don't even know what is showing on your screen, but
Nothing, my brother.
it's Anton Taylor with that accent. It's a Czech Republic accent. That he even says in the one like, guys, it was so messed up. Accent bendi sebenzi. I don't know how people got to believe that, you know. So while that loads, hopefully it will load before we bounce, because it's almost time for us to bounce. And yeah, have you guessed, or can you guess who it's going to?
I want to say TSIDI, but I don't know.
This is who it's going to.
I know you want me to tell you about the US. I know you want me to tell you about the bizarre interview that I had with Newsnight. I was irritated. I was bored because some things about the South African experience should not be explained. Some things are actually so easy to see. If you're looking for them, you'll see them. If you open your eyes to see, you'll see them. And I got the feeling that there are some pockets of the US that are not willing to see, no matter what you do, to shine a light on South Africa's truth. So that interview that went viral, yes, I just went viral. That interview that went viral really is about that, from my understanding. And I keep saying to people, I don't think I said anything out of the ordinary. Like, it wasn't like, oh, no, I would normally. Those are very normal sentiments for me. But I think in this context, why I think it matters, I'm trying to still process it, is because I said what people wanted to say. Does that make sense? Like, people were irritated watching the ongoings in the White House, in the Oval Office. That's diplomacy at play. That's trying to protect an economy at play. I don't have that baggage. So I can just tell you what I understand about South Africa, and that's what I sought to do. So for all the love, all the praises, all the being labeled a patriot is nice. I like it. I take that ownership. I take ownership of that. So thank you so much. I'll continue doing me. There was nothing different.
And that's what we're doing, baby. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We are affording the Sisa Nundumo Courageous Citizen Award to the late TSIDI MADIA. You guessed it right.
You didn't.
I didn't have horns for you. Yeah, you got it right, Queen.
I went the hands like. I didn't hear the noise.
So that's who the Sisanundumo Courageous Citizen Award goes to. TSIDI MADIA. I mean, she was at her prime, and that video that went viral is exactly proof of that. And to say that, like, you know, when you go look at Gaza and you look at how much journalists are being killed, how much journalists are being bullied, how much, I mean, like, even in South Africa, you will find certain minister. Yeah, let me censor myself because I wanted to mention ministers' names, like a book with the.
Okay. Wherever we are about to go,
yeah.
And beautiful, because this was gonna get us into trouble.
So you find out, like, you know, journalists are being intimidated when they probe and they ask questions that South Africans really need to. And the G20, you will remember, it had Y20, which was Youth 20. There was R20, Religious 20, and today in Joburg North, they had the Media 20, where it was journalists that gathered, and they were discussing things that are important for journalists, whether you're a community journalist or you are a professional or international. These things affect you. Things like AI. misinformation, disinformation, all of these things, and the fact that like media houses are seeing less money now because people are reading news on their phones. They get it from different sources. People don't even care about how credible their stories are. So to have that, and I'm sure TSIDI would have been there. She would have been stirring that M20 like nobody's business and asking important questions and being celebrated like the champion that she was, man. So yeah, that's what's up as far as that is concerned, man. Yeah. Well, it looks like my wish is that we don't cross the 30 minutes thingy. We're already an hour and 24 minutes. I haven't even gotten to the nominations. I think what I will do as far as the summer nominations and being invited, because that video alone is about 4 minutes, we're going to spend a lot of time on it. So what I'll do is over the course of the week, I will have it as an exclusive content, which you will only get on our YouTube channel. So we're not going to cover that story now. So that's what we will do about it. But before we leave, I want to speak about this person over here. Remember, we were talking about life ESIDIMENI. Yes, we were talking about the life ESIDIMENI, and I came across very phenomenal. This is my thing. You know me, like I'm very interested in people. I love people. So I met up. I'm not gonna share the story and embarrass her, but she's a journalist doing something totally different. Her name is MLONZI, and I was like, I need to give you an assignment to check, your story writing skills and all of that kind of stuff. Imagine. Look at me, like trying to be like some journalism professor, because we want to go back to writing stories for the website slyso.co.za. So she wrote us something very, very, very phenomenal, very touching, remembering life ESIDIMENI 10 years later. Unfortunately, didn't have time to put it on a ticker, but as soon as we are done with the podcast, I'm going to put it on the website and send the link out where you can read the story. But it's basically a reflection of what has happened is that of life ESIDIMENI. I'm just gonna read excuse me Apanapaya, say that a decade ago, South Africans witnessed what has been the darkest tragedies in the health care system. As a means, oh shit, I need my glasses. Oh goddamn, I'm blind. I'm going blind. So as a means to cut costs, the Gauteng Department of terminated a contract with a psychiatric facility. This led to 1,700 psychiatric patients being transferred from private care for 20 care to 27 ill-equipped hospitals and unlicensed NPOs. Within months, conditions in the healthcare centers deteriorated. As a result of this, 144 patients died from neglect, malnutrition, and lack of proper care. This would be known as the life ESIDIMENI. Yeah, so that's what she shares about. I'm just gonna skip through because I'm obviously, if I read you the whole thing, you're not gonna go and read the full story. So a lot of studies, she quotes studies that were done around this, and recently there was an interview. A recent article that was published. I'm sure my video is going haywire right now, right? But yeah. We will ignore it for now because we are to end off anyway. In a recent article published by EWN, the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, met with families of victims in August 2025 and confirmed that it had received a legal opinion recommending the prosecution of Mahlangu and Manamela, but this only for the deaths of 2 out of the 144 people. So which means whether it's sentences, they're going to be very light. you know, they're not gonna mean much. Let me just switch to, my gosh, this very terrible a version of the pod right now, just to end it off with you guys. So yeah, that is the story that is going to go up on the slyso.co.za, because part of what I want to encourage is you know, community journalism, or people that look at human interest stories instead of us hearing about so many people died, this happened, that happened. Yeah. So that is how we ended off. So probably a person who's going to be responsible for the website going forth.
Yeah.
And that is it. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And even my camera have gone off my ass.
That is our story. That is our story.
And we are sticking to it. Tata, thank you so much. What's coming up a little bit this week for you?
This week I am trying to get myself a little bit into slow down mode, because I've got I've got a lot of conferencing coming up, guys. The time of the year is just a lot. Yeah. So I have I have professional conferences that are coming up that I'm going to be, you know, involved in. It's just amazing stuff that you get to see at the conference. It gets me so excited, but it's tiring because it's traveling and it's, you know, mental stuff. So I need to take care of myself this week and make sure that I'm ready. But it's been very interesting. For me, it's been quite upsetting to get into September, because there's just a lot of stories around GBV in schools that I'm just worried about, just pissed about. What is our Department of Basic Education doing exactly about these stories that you know, keep on resurfacing in schools? And we cannot continue to have this trend of schools being unsafe places for children. Yeah, that's problematic.
Oh, that's very interesting. To end it off, there is a concept that started in the Nelson Mandela Bay over 20 years ago. Excuse me. So I figured that this summer, well, I need money, plus I also miss DJing. So there's a all right, good reasons, ne? So I figured. Yeah. So, but obviously you don't want to rip people off. So people that partied in the Nelson Mandela Bay about 20 years ago, and you're out in Joburg, you're out in Cape Town, you're out in Durban, you're out in Rustenburg, you're out in Pretoria, you're out in different places. So there's a tour that we are putting together with people that I used to play with back in the day. Yeah, just to bring back that nostalgia. So it's obviously for the older, more mature that are not, hey, it's gonna be mellow stuff for older people that really wouldn't go out to a club. So I'm quite excited about that.
Excited. I'm excited to hear more about that. I am part of the older, by the way.
We believe you. Quinn, thank you so much. Have a wonderful one. We'll be catching up very soon around that. And once again, that South African Music Awards, the 31st edition, it was done totally different. The people that are leading there, Thandiso Mazwai and Black Motion, and they do a hybrid, a totally different format. I will do that video and then I will post it in the week to share that with you, even the nominations as well. So thank you very much, Queen.
Thank you to our listeners, our friends of the pod, friends of the Slyso podcast TV. Guys, talk to us. Tell us what's going on. How are you making money? Please.
She's a practicing psychologist. So please, if you need bookings, you need to clear your mind before holiday.
I want money.
She wants the money. Thank you, Queen.
Bye.